Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Enduring Long COVID podcast. My name is Sherri, and if you're living with long COVID, ME/CFS, or you're someone who loves and supports someone who is, I'm so glad you're here. Today's episode is a little different. I want to share a question I've been asking for years. It's a question I asked one of my long COVID doctors early in my illness, and it's a question I still think about today. I asked, do you think some of us were already predisposed to immune dysregulation and COVID simply uncovered it? At the time, neither of us had the answer. And to be honest, we still don't have a complete answer today. But as more research is published, I find myself coming back to that same question. For those of you who may not be familiar with the term, immune system dysregulation simply means the immune system isn't responding the way it should. Sometimes it's overactive, sometimes it's underactive. Sometimes it stays activated long after an infection should be over. And sometimes it begins reacting in ways that can affect the body's own tissues. Researchers are studying whether immune dysregulation may play an important role in long COVID. They're also looking at persistent inflammation, autoantibodies, viral persistence, changes in immune cells, and other biological changes that may help explain why this illness affects so many different parts of the body. I find that fascinating because long COVID isn't just one symptom. Some people struggle with brain fog. Others have POTS or dysautonomia. Some people develop GI problems. Others have shortness of breath, crushing fatigue, post-exertional malaise, joint pain, sleep problems, or symptoms that resemble autoimmune conditions. How can one illness affect so many different systems? One possible explanation researchers are exploring is that the immune system itself may be involved. Now, I want to make something very clear. I'm not saying that this has been proven. I'm not saying that everyone with long COVID has immune dysregulation. I'm sharing a question I've been asking for years and explaining why I think it's an important area of research. When I look back at my own health history, I sometimes wonder if there were clues. As a child, I had rheumatic fever. As an adult, I had high Epstein-Barr virus titers. Before COVID, I had already been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Then COVID came along, and my health changed in ways I never could have imagined. Can I say those things caused my long COVID? No, I can't. But they do make me wonder whether COVID exposed an underlying vulnerability that had been quietly there all along. Maybe that's true for me. Maybe it isn't. And maybe it won't be true for everyone. That's why we need good research instead of assumptions. One thing I love about where we are today is that researchers are finally asking these kinds of questions. A few years ago, many of us were told our symptoms were anxiety, stress, or simply getting older. Today, scientists around the world are studying the immune system, inflammation, viral persistence, the autonomic nervous system, mitochondria, blood vessels, brain changes, and many other biological pathways. That gives me hope, not because we have all the answers, but because we're finally asking better questions. I've often said that normal test results don't always mean nothing is wrong. Sometimes they mean we haven't yet learned how to measure what's wrong. History has shown us that medicine continues to evolve. As our tools improve, we discover things we couldn't see before. I believe long COVID research is moving through that same process. Every study doesn't give us the answer, but every study adds another piece to the puzzle. And eventually, enough pieces begin to reveal the picture. If you're listening today and you've ever wondered why your body changed so dramatically after COVID, please know you're not alone. Researchers are working hard to understand what's happening. We still have a long way to go, but we know more today than we did a year ago. And I believe we'll know more next year than we know today. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this episode encouraged you, I hope you'll share it with someone who needs a little hope today. Until next time, be gentle with yourself, keep pacing, and remember, hope isn't pretending everything is okay. Hope is believing that tomorrow can be better than today. Take care, everyone.